For this year's DataFest, TeamSagehen decided to look into non-medical opioid use among American 18 to 24-year-olds in 2018. Americans are no stranger to the threat that opioids play in society. They reach all corners of demographics, including students. The lifetime estimate for prescription opioid misuse among general population of students ranged from 4% to 19.7%, with higher estimates for special student populations. There's clearly an opioid problem in the country, and here we can see it among young adults. As college sophomores, members of this age range, we wanted to focus on this group.
Our goal was to find patterns related to substance abuse to help identify future drug misuse cases. As such, we decided to focus on the question, which variables are predictors for students aged 18 to 24 of non-medical lifetime opioid usage? We hope that by pinpointing such predictors, early identification of drug misuse may be possible. Young people have a greater ability to recover from an opioid addiction since they have fewer years of addiction behind them. This makes early prevention and intervention crucial in the long-term fight against the opioid epidemic.
We primarily used 4 binary variables to build our model. 3 of them came from the existing dataset, and we created a 4th variable showing marijuana legality by state, with 0 being illegal and 1 being fully legal by the end of the first quarter of 2018. These variables all seem to contribute to the probability of an 18 to 24-year-old college student using opioids non-medically and are all statistically significant. On this next slide, we see a general map of the percentage of people aged 18 to 24 who have used opioids non-medically. Darker colors represent a higher percentage of respondents using opioids non-medically, and gray represents a state with no data or fewer than 10 respondents. It's interesting to note that 13 states have a percentage above 20%, with 6 states having a percentage above 25%. This shows that the opioid problem in our country amongst young people does differ by state, and our variable for marijuana legality, which differs by state, tries to control for this.
Since our response variable was a binary variable, we decided to use a logistic regression. So our model was built using forward stepwise regression, using AIC as the criterion for variable inclusion. But since we knew that we were doing multiple comparisons, we checked for significance in each variable by using a home correction in order to control the family-wise error rate. Next, we used k-fold cross-validation with a k equal to 4 to make sure we weren't overfitting the data. This plot shows the different ROC curves across the different folds. And since the model coefficients and the AUC estimates were the same across each fold, we deemed this model to be equipped to predict for data on another survey.
As for our key findings, as said, the 4 variables we looked at are statistically significant. So this graph shows that all variables contribute to a prediction of non-medical lifetime opioid use for students aged 18 to 24, where the larger bars represent those variables that contribute more to this model. So specifically, being female decreases a person's odds of non-medical lifetime opioid use, as does not having a mental health disorder. Those that increase it are being involved in a frat or a sorority, as well as being in a state where marijuana is legal. So this points us towards traits that are important to look at in people to hopefully address opioid use before it might become an addiction. Those traits being male, having a mental health disorder, being involved in Greek life, and living in a state where marijuana is legal.
In conclusion, our analysis shows that certain factors may be associated with lifetime occurrence of opioid drug misuse. As is the nature of observational studies, we cannot determine any causation. However, our work can still help identify which populations are at risk for drug misuse. Some next steps that we hope to take are to reproduce our analysis using a representative sample of the population, as well as by running our model on datasets from different years. We hope that our findings will assist in early identification of at-risk populations, as well as to reinforce future clinical studies that can test the efficacy of drug abuse prevention and intervention programs. Thank you for your time. We hope you enjoyed our presentation.